What about me? I'm Oscar Quagliarini. I was born in Rome in 1978, and I started to work in the bar industry, specifically in a pub in a little city near Milano in 1997. I follow many seminars around the world, and I started just with a base course of IBA, and then I start to study myself everything about the industry. After 11 years of working in Milano, I start to travel abroad. I was calling in West Africa to follow the opening of a new cocktail bar in Benin, just near Togo and Nigeria. And I was called because I was considered in Italy something as an expert of spices in cocktail. Then after my job in West Africa, I was calling in Paris to follow the opening of Grazie, pizzeria and cocktail bar, just 10 years ago. And I stay in Paris for 3 years, living in Paris for 3 years. In my career, I travel a lot, not just for my job, but also for developing and studying everything around the bar industry. That means starting from my love for herbs and spices, and then I move everything in another world that was the perfume industry. I work in Milano, Rome, Paris, Singapore, where I make some seminar, in Benin, Madagascar. I make a seminar in Irkutsk, in Siberia, something at Moscow, and some event around the Europe. Till now I write 3 books. The first one was The Universe of Oscar Q, and the second one is the first volume of a trilogy called Herbarium, that is already out. The first book, Herbarium Volume 1, and now I came out with the Herbarium second volume. I start with the aromas. I start to study a lot of things about the perfume industry almost 10 years ago when I moved myself in Paris. I would like to make something new on my cocktail menu. So I started to study some fragrances of Guerlain, and I try to transform the fragrances, the perfume, in not in a cocktail, but in a edible spray. That means that I use the real raw material of the perfume, the real ingredients, in something as an infusion in alcohol. The same things that we make with the bitter homemade, but using the raw materials of the perfume industry. So when I started to study the perfume industry, it was incredible because I start to know some ingredients that we don't use all the day. So some woody ingredients as the guaiaco, or something as the condurango, or some citruses as bergamot, and some flower as jasmine, as ylang ylang, and stuff like this. So a new world was behind me, and I didn't notice. I had the opportunity to start my study in the perfume industry with the help of a big nose that is called Isabelle Doyen, that is the nose of Annick Goutal. And with them I start to go in their laboratory to ask some question, because I was really curious about how it works, the nose of of the people that work in the perfume industry. So I start to make a lot of questions, and I decide to move myself in Grasse, in the south of France, to understand the real means of perfumery. 19 COVID virus for our industry has the worst impact of the stories of the bar in 2000, because it's not just the virus. The problem is the communication of the printer of the newspaper about this virus, and the link with the bar and the restaurant and discos and stuff like this, because also if we are going to reopen our bar, there are many people that thinks that we are the most dangerous place for not just this virus. Is something that the message that people, not all the people, fortunately not all the people, but the major part of the people receive from the print and the newspaper, because they start to think that we are not clean. You know what I mean? Is not true, but not just that we are not really clean, but that is that we are the place in which a virus can be most fast. My reaction about the virus, for me, is a problem. I have my enterprise, little enterprise, so I don't have any help from my job in France and in Milano. So it's a difficult situation for me, but my reaction was starting to think more in big. That means I developed now is going to be outside in 2 weeks. My first 2 hand soaps for the bar, for the restaurant, for the hotel's bar, and I developed 2 formula of hand cream for the bartender and the chef when we finish to work during the night. And I start to develop many sample of new liquor and new vermouth. I'm going to stop with the classic vermouth, dry red and white. I'm going to start with the orange vermouth, pink vermouth, and dry zest and dry olive. That will be 2 little bottle, one of for the especially studied about the spices involved in this, for the dry martini cocktail with olive, and the other one is for the dry martini with zest. Then I'm sure that everything will come back to the normality, because it's impossible for us, for our generation. It's impossible to think at the bar with or restaurant with plexiglass, with mask. It's impossible, without giving the hands, without giving kisses, without. We are too much human to have this kind of approach in the future. So everything will come back to the normality. We are too much human. So we are going to meet us and on the YouTube channel Speakeasy Vanguard, and we keep in touch. Bye bye. Thank you very much.